Thank you for being with us during this spring equinox virtual retreat. I hope that you are starting to see that one of the biggest things we wish to share with you is our real life, the real ways that we transform and achieve optimal health and abundance. So I have overcome the barrier to wanting to have the perfect recording equipment and the perfect everything. I am sharing how we, all the collaborators and all of the participants even, our energy is all sharing how you can adopt a daily practice today. So you might only be able to start with 10 minutes, but my personal morning routine is about an hour. I like to have an hour for myself. Sometimes that includes journeying and journaling. Sometimes it includes my self-care rituals and movement. This morning, I am going to share with you a really nice way to love your feet and to love your body a little bit. Get my camera set up there and move over to my space. I've got the dryer balls that I highly recommend, the woolly balls here. And soon, hopefully, we will have all of our favorite things available for you to easily acquire on our website. But for now, I have my mat set up next to the wall, and I invite you to do the same. And once you're all set up, I've got my nice candle burning. It's morning, so in between my morning mantra to raise my vibration and remove karmic blocks and my practice here, I made my matcha, which I have recently switched from espresso to matcha, and it's been wonderful. Tune in with me with a heart breath. So just coming to a comfortable seat. Surrender to gravity. Allow yourself to feel rooted and supported. And focus on your heart flame. Draw a deep inhale from the energy of earth and sky. Feel as it merges with your own heart flame. Pour love onto that flame. Exhale that power out every cell in every direction. Again, inhaling the energies, the vitality, the knowledge of earth and sky. Feel as they merge with your own heart flame. Pour love into that mix. Exhale it out every cell in every direction. Just going to show you a nice little series that you could do right in your bed before you get out of bed in the morning. But it is wonderful if you can have a little sacred space to put your mat, to put your candle, to put your incense or your smudging tools, maybe some woolly balls. So I want to come right up close to the wall today. So I'm going to bring my hips just about 6 to 12 inches from the wall. And I'm just going to drop over onto my back and start out here in this really nice supported position. I personally suffer from low back pain and hip pain, and I'm working through the emotional and spiritual aspects of this pain in addition to what I can do for it physically. So today I want to start out, and this feels great. If you just do this before you get out of bed, it's a little bit of an inversion, but I want to start with the balls today. So if you have only a towel that you can roll up, and I have put it right at the top of my pelvis on either side of my spine. I have placed those balls. And again, that could be enough because I'm really feeling that they're hitting my trigger points and that it's really working. But I'm going to start to just gently, ever so gently explore what happens when I move a little bit side to side and when I make little circles while those balls are there. It's a really great way to do self-massage and to get into really hard to reach places. And we can't all afford the time or the resources to get a massage from a professional or even a loved one as often as would be beneficial to us. Now you see I'm kind of moving back and forth, and I inspire you to go intuitively with this. I like to present ideas that you can run with on your own. So now I'm just going to move them, and I want to move them all the way up my spine eventually. But for the purposes of showing you a few things that you could do if you set apart 20 to 30 minutes. So this idea of daily devotions, sure, we could start with 5 or 10 minutes, but it's barely enough to get you settled down. The goal is for you to wake up an hour early if you have to, so that you might be able to implement these 30-minute daily devotions. So now I've just moved up my spine. I'm more at my kidneys and my fear center. And I'm again just moving over and feeling the benefits. I can feel it shooting down into that hip. So some of the tension from the hip is either shooting up here into these back muscles or vice versa. All the tension and tightness is related. Can move up a little farther. Now, if I wasn't trying to stay in the camera here and I had myself in the center of the room, I would move rather than moving the balls. And it feels really neat to kind of roll over them like that. I had started with them underneath my mid back, and I let my body roll over them. And now I'm going to sort of roll back down over them and bring myself back to where I wanted to show you this wonderful foot and hip routine that you can do at your bedside. So first I'm going to come back where I was, pretty close to the wall, and I'm going to breathe my heart breaths throughout the practice. And now to open and get into my hip, which I just worked a little bit with those woolly balls, I'm going to bring my right ankle onto my left knee. Now, for some of you, you'll need to be farther from the wall. For some of you, you can get up closer to the wall, lift up to get that ankle there. And then when you come back down, you're even deeper into this stretch. And now, this will be hard to see in the video, but I'm going to take my spread out fingers and I am going to interlace them in my toes. So it takes a little wiggling and jiggling, especially if you've never done it before, to literally interlace your fingers with your toes. And just give it a good squeeze once you get them in there, and see already how amazing that feels. So now bringing that ankle back onto my knee with my fingers interlaced with my toes, I allow maybe my elbow to just press into my knee so that my knee goes toward the wall, and I deepen that stretch into the right hip. And now I can continue squeezing my fist around my foot. I can make circles with my ankle, but that's squeezing and releasing and kind of flexing and pointing the toes as with my hands. So using my hands, not my feet, to point and flex and circle. I lift my fingers and I kind of mash them in to the spaces between the bones, between the metatarsal bones, and it just feels really, really nice. So I'm accomplishing a great hip opener here, and a foot massage at the same time. And now I can take and just squeeze down the rest of my foot. So I've unleashed, and now I'm sort of grabbing the ball of my foot. I'm grabbing and squeezing gently, not gently, I'm giving it a good squeeze, the arch of my foot, and then I'm squeezing the heel. And when I come to the heel, I might choose to circle the ankle again. And then I can take my fist and I can just press my knuckles into the underside of my foot. All the while I'm pressing my elbow here and getting that stretch into the knee. So a little self foot massage while we open our hip. From here, I want to take this a little bit farther. So I have released my feet all together. My arms are on the floor, and I'm going to take and cross my legs in this position. You may be able to hook your foot, your right foot, behind your left ankle or on the underside of your left ankle. So my legs are crossed, and this is Garudasana or eagle pose if I were standing. This is a balance pose. So it's nice to try this on the floor and practice the legs on the floor. If I were standing on the floor on this left leg, I would lift my right knee as high as I could and wrap it around like a twisty tie to find my eagle legs or my Garudasana legs. And now just squeezing together at my inner thigh. It causes my hips to lift a little bit up off the floor, engaging some belly muscles. But what I want to do next here is a twist. So I'm just going to slide and let my legs come down to the right, keeping them crossed like that, allowing this left shoulder to feel heavy, feeling a nice stretch now coming down the outside, more so of the left leg. Pausing here for a couple of breaths. Walk or slide those legs back up and right over to the other side. I kept the cross the same. I'm just going over to the other side, feeling a deep stretch in that right hip, releasing my right shoulder towards the floor. Breathing into this twist because I know that twists are detoxifying. They're wringing out my organs like a dirty dishcloth. And I'm going to bring my crossed legs back up, unwind, send them straight up for a moment, for a breath or two to regroup in between. My feet are flexed, but this is a nice inversion. You might point and flex the toes. And then doing that on the other side, I let the feet come down. And I'm going to take my left foot and interlace it with my right fingers. And now you'll be able to see the bottom of the foot here. My left elbow is now pressing my left knee towards the wall. So I'm getting that really nice stretch through the left hip. And you can see at first I'm just squeezing, shaking, rolling. This really opens up a lot of sensation through the feet. Just this simple gripping with my fist and interlacing with the toes. It's getting so many different pressure points on the bottom of the feet. My fingertips, the top of my fingertips are in between these bones here on top of the foot. Don't forget about pressing your elbow into the knee so that you're pressing your left knee toward the wall, circling the ankle, and then maybe beginning to squeeze down the foot. So I give a really good squeeze to the ball of the foot. I come up into the arch of the foot and I give a really good squeeze. And I come onto the heel and I give a really good squeeze. And then I might take my fist and I might just knuckle all up into my foot. And if you were to do this in the morning before you go anywhere, or in the evening after you've been on your feet all day, what a nice restorative treat for yourself. And then to go farther, again, taking that cross. So it's now my left leg that's going to come in and wrap around the right, finding those eagle legs, those Garudasana legs, squeezing my inner thighs together to really engage everything. Belly muscles are more engaged as I'm squeezing in. And then I'm going to go ahead and slide my foot down so that I can drop my crossed legs over to the left, coming to that twist again. Take a couple of deep heart breaths, breathing in the energies of earth and sky, feeding them with my love, exhaling out every cell in every direction. Inhale to slide up and drop those same crossed legs right over to the right side. Breathe deeply the energies of earth and sky, mixing them with your heart flame. Pour that love, your own love for yourself and your own love for your spirit, your own love for your ancestors and your spirit guides and your planet, and breathe that out into the universe. Coming back up. One more thing I would like to show you here today is how you can practice a shoulder stand, Sarvangasana, from the wall, and practice a really nice inversion, which is very good for your neck. It'll stretch the back of the neck, and practicing it at the wall is a nice, safe way to learn this inversion. And again, if you do this even in your bed at night, just place your butt up against your headboard and your feet up to allow all those fluids to exchange from the day. You could do this at night, you can do it in the morning, and you see how I'm just gently pressing one sitting bone into the wall, letting the other one come away, just this gentle hip motion here, vibrating and loosening up the things that are stuck. And now, to come into my shoulder stand, I'm going to bring my feet back to this position here. But this time I will press my feet firmly into the wall so that I might lift my butt up. Once my butt has lifted like this, I can begin to walk my elbows in so that I can place the palm of my hand on my back. And then I can walk a little farther up the wall, walk my elbows closer toward one another, bring them lower down on my back. So you can see how I have gotten my hips pretty well up over my shoulders. And that's where you want to be, where we would like to go in our shoulder stand. So by doing it at the wall here, you get this really nice foundation set for a shoulder stand. And then you may take 1 foot away from the wall and see how that feels. You may take both feet away from the wall. If you lose your balance, you know that the wall is right there to catch you, and you can always come back and readjust if the elbows have slid, or you think you can get the hands a little farther down. You can come way to the tippy toes, still have that support of the wall, get the pelvis closer towards your face so that the hips are stacked over the shoulders in your shoulder stand. And then again, at any time, choosing to take 1 or both feet away from the wall. It's good to do inversions at least 5 minutes a day. For the purposes of our time here and your morning devotion, you can explore that more on your own. For now, I invite you to come to a Shavasana with your feet raised against the wall. So just inviting you to settle in for 5 minutes of restfulness After that little bit of exertion, perhaps you feel some energy coursing through your body. Notice it. Notice your breath. Just mindful breathing. Lengthening and deepening your breaths. Sending your energy and attention down to the core of the earth. Breathing in that vital life force energy. In through the soles of your feet. In through the lower energy centers and merging with your heart flame. Pour your love on the flame. Exhale out every cell in every direction. And then inhaling the energy, the knowledge, the intelligence, the light of the sky. In through your upper energy centers, feeling and allowing it to merge with your heart flame. Pour your love on that mix. Exhale out every cell in every direction. Breathing in the energies of earth and sky. Merging the energies with your heart flame. Pouring love into that mix and exhale out every cell in every direction. Continuing to practice the heart breath. Eventually it becomes how we breathe, and we can begin to take it into all situations with us. I have a dream to take this heart breath into our schools, to take it into our prisons, to take it into our anger management programs, our nursing homes, our places where the people are not receiving the love. It's real power. And I ask you to join this movement, sharing our hearts. The light in me sees and honors the light in you. Namaste.